Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Samzilla33 here, and welcome to another Pokemon TCG Battle video. On the left, we have me with my Charizard EX, my Speed Charizard EX deck, and on the right, we have Joe with his Team Plasma deck with focus on Plasma Kyurem. Uh, so yeah, I haven't had a battle video in quite a while, but today I have one. It's I've had some technical difficulties the last several times I tried to record, and I thought I really should try to get some more of these out. So even if there's problems in this one, I'll just go ahead and post it. And yeah, today this is our game. So Charizard's the deck I've been having a lot of fun with in the recent formats, or in the recent Flash Fire format. And Charizard is an incredibly fun deck. I played it at my league tournaments. As you can see, I still have a few proxies for the deck. Most of the new cards like Charizard and Druddigon, you can see there. But I so apologize for that. But you know, the cards cost a lot of money, and I don't have much cards on Play TCG, so oh well. So let's look up. So let's take a look at the game in progress currently. My start is bad. I started with Jirachi EX, obviously the worst starter possible with this deck. That is a horrible thing to start with. You cannot use its Stellar Guidance ability, and it only has 90 HP, which is very bad. I also had to attach a DCE to Druddigon as opposed to Charizard, which is not a good thing when playing Charizard. You usually want to get Charizard as fast as possible, especially against that Thundurus right there with that measly 170 HP. A perfect amount for you to be able to Combustion Blast it with a Muscle Band. If you don't know, Combustion Blast does 150 damage and for 2 fire and 2 colorless, and you can't use Combustion Blast next turn. But with the Muscle Band, that can deal 170 damage. Great against Thundurus and Deoxys. Good against Kyurem too, but of course, Kyurem is a water type, which is very bad. Kyurem is a non-EX attacker that can very easily one-shot uh, Charizard with just 3 Deoxys on the bench and a Silver Bangle can do that. Or Muscle Band, 3 Deoxys, and 20 damage from that Frozen City Stadium in play. Um, the Yeah, this matchup is very difficult, very difficult. Maybe wondering why I'm posting a video about this at all, but it's to prove some points about this Charizard deck. It's a very fun, interesting deck with a lot of neat little things about it. Um, you'll see here he's going for the Kyurem with his Ultra Ball right here to get that out as fast as possible. Let's see if he has an energy to go with his Thundurus to be able to get a Plasma on the Kyurem. Looks like no. He did, yeah. I guess I'll keep it just passed. Here I'm going to play a Fiery Torch and draw 2 cards. Another good card for Charizard decks, discard a Fire and draw 2 cards. Yeah, as you can see there, I have a Voltorb. That's 1 card to play in this deck. I'll put the list in the description for you guys to be able to see, or something close to it, if I remember what the list is. So my start isn't that bad. I think I have at least 2 Fire Energy in the discard, and I can get I can use Blacksmith to get 2 Fire onto my Charizard. A great start, even if I did get Jirachi, which is very bad to start with. I did discard DCE early on, so it could become very difficult to power up Charizard later, which is a little annoying, but I'll have to deal with it. See there, I just Ultra Ball for a Keldeo EX, one of the great cards. But for this deck, you can use Rush In to remove the effect if you can't use Combustion Blast next turn. Of course, that's a very good thing to have in this deck. I don't see what reason not to have it. So right now I have no energy in play. I just have that Druddigon with the DCE, and Druddigon is not and a Muscle Band. Druddigon is not particularly helpful. Its Revenge attack does 90 for a DCE if one of your Pokemon was knocked out last turn, but if not, it only does 20 damage. It looks like they're off the. I played a Bicycle, and it looks like I drew a Blacksmith. Yes, I'm gonna use that Blacksmith to get 2 energy onto my Charizard. Charizard is very scary for any deck like this early on. I forgot I had 2 Charizard on the bench. Those are both Charizard proxies. They're gray, but they have the same general shape of Charizard, so they're fairly easy to notice. So yeah, I have 3 energy on that Charizard. Next turn, that can very easily knock out whatever he sends up, unless it's like Lugia or something, which I really don't see him playing at all. Charizard, of course, can knock out Thundurus and Kyurem fairly easily. So even with my bad start, I still get the decent. I still have the upper hand because he missed an energy early on, and yeah, I have all his energy in play, and he has 0, which is not something you want to be doing with this Kyurem deck. He was just passing the first turn. That's one of the strengths of the Charizard deck. If it is left unnoticed for a few turns, it becomes very scary. Multiple Charizards powered up, Druddigon powered up, Keldeo in play, an Electrode to stop, comebacks with N. It's just a very scary thing to deal with because Charizard does so much damage and is so easy to use in succession, especially if there's no double Carlos energy to enhance Hammer off of it. Not that he plays enhanced Hammer. But yeah, Charizard is very scary to deal with if you get a bad start like Joe appears to be having. Looks like there is a Prism Energy in his hand. Yes, he's going to put that on Thundurus. He does have a Plasma Energy in the discard, so you can Raid Knuckle that onto his Kyurem. You don't generally want Plasma Energy on your Kyurems. You generally want the Prism and Rainbow Energies on there first to be able to use Blizzard Burn as fast as possible. But now with only just the Plasma, the best you can do this turn is a Frost Spear, which can't do that much, but considering my Charizard already has 20 damage on it, or 40 if I decide to attach to it again, because of the Frozen City Stadium, Kyurem might be able to knock it out with a Frost Spear, maybe with a Muscle Band and a couple Deoxys. Let's see, if I attach to it again, I'll have 140. See, all you would need is another Deoxys, a Muscle Band, and a Rainbow or Prism Energy to knock out that Charizard with Frost Spear, and soften up another Pokemon on the bench. Not the best thing, so... back to my turn. It looks like I took back a move. I Ultra Balled away. Or, I Ultra Balled for Electro, but then I took that back, and I'm going to play Computer Search to get something. Let's see what that is. I'm not quite sure what that would be going for. Probably a Muscle Band. Electrode isn't totally necessary at this point in the game, but it would be nice to have as early as possible. Electrode, of course, its ability is draw until you have 4 cards in your hand. Very great for this Charizard deck that has to use its supporters on Blacksmith to accelerate energy onto your Pokemon. That's the whole point of the Charizard deck. You use a lot of draw cards like Fiery Torch, and Bicycle, and Electrode, and as well as Drachi in some cases, to be able to draw cards as fast as possible without having to use your supporters for drawing, and instead using them for Blacksmith, which is the main focus of the deck is using Blacksmith supporter to put 2 fire energy onto one of your fire Pokemon from your discard. But yes, it looks like it did get a Muscle Band, so I can use Combustion Blast for a whopping 170 and knock out that Thundurus. Very, very nice indeed. And of course, Joe is going to be sending up his Kyurem with the Plasma, his biggest threat right now. Even though it's not that threatening, it's still the best he has. So yeah, he's going to use some Colress Machines to get the Plasma Energy onto his Deoxys as well as his other Kyurem. One thing, Deoxys is actually very strong in this matchup as well. I cannot talk. It's since Charizard has so much energy on it, Helix Force does even more damage. Its Helix Force is 30 plus 30 for each energy on the defending Pokemon. So if I have 4 energy on my Charizard, which I happen to have right now, and he has a Prism Energy, that will be able to knock out Charizard because of the 40 damage from Frozen City. Even if it's just the 20 damage, even if it's just one attach, even if I just attach 1 energy from Frozen City, all he would need is a Muscle Band. It would still be a knockout. That Frozen City has really come in handy. Charizard does not generally play Stadium cards. It doesn't really have any. It can take that much of an advantage of, which makes cards like Frozen City and Burbank just very painful for it. Like honestly, Frozen City is probably one of the biggest weaknesses of this deck. You have to manually attach a lot of your energy. Even if you do have Blacksmith, you still got to attach those double Carlos's and even basic fires a lot of the time. Frozen City, just having no way to counter it is a very annoying card. Just having to deal with that all the time. See, like there, even though I just got that Charizard, just gonna take that 20 right there. And I did just power up that Charizard in 1 turn. If I can get the Muscle Band, I can knock out that Deoxys. And you see, I have the Electrode. What is that? 1 card in my hand, so I can draw 3 cards. If I can get the Muscle Band, I'll be, golden. But if not, I'll have to settle for this revenge with Druddigon, which is not exactly what I want to be doing, because I usually want to be using a Combustion Blast to knock out things in 1 hit. But Druddigon, it only does 110 right now with that Muscle Band. Normally, the Druddigon is only really helpful in the Blastoise matchup and the Raybor matchup because they use Dragon types, which can one-shot your Charizard much easier than they can one-shot yours. And see, I went for the magnetic draw there, and looks like I got a pretty hard whiff. I did draw a Reshiram, which is not going to be very useful. Maybe to finish off that Deoxys, especially after manually attaching to it, its outrage attack will be powered up a little more. So that might be useful, but it's not the greatest thing in this matchup. This Druddigon is not particularly threatening. Or it's not. The nice thing about the situation is Druddigon is not really a desired Pokemon for him to be knocking out either. Like, it's just one prize. I'll probably be using Charizards most of the game, despite what I just said earlier. Charizard is the big threat, and I want to be using that as much as possible. If he knocks out this Druddigon, he'll only go down to 3 prizes, which he'll still have to knock out 2 EXs to win the game. So he might not want to go for that at all. He would much rather knock out 2 EXs and not have to worry about this Druddigon. One thing he can do, he probably has already seen this, that Jirachi EX on the bench is a very easy target. It already has 40 damage on it, since it only has 90 HP, you can simply use a Frost Spear and knock that out. Just use 2 Frost Spears, knock it out. It's really simple to just hit that at any point in the game and set up for a knockout later, especially with Charizard's, of course, its water weakness. Frost Spear could very easily do that. And here it looks like this may be one of his plans. He's going to use Lysander, this new supporter from the set, to switch my active with one of my bench Pokemon, and use Helix Force on my Charizard, which is my biggest threat currently, and what he wants Self-Induct up, which puts it at, I believe, 170 damage, which opens up for the play I just mentioned, where you can, if he has another Lysander or maybe a Genesect with a Plasma Energy, he can bring up that Jirachi, Frost Spear them both, and win the game 4 prize turn, which is very scary for me considering I don't really have a way to win quickly, especially considering he only has, next turn he'll definitely be attacking with that Kyurem, so what's going to happen is even if he whiffs the Lysander to knock out both those Pokemon, I'll knock out this Deoxys, he'll knock out my Charizard, then I'll simply send up another Charizard to knock out the Kyurem, and then another Kyurem will come in and Frost Spear the Jirachi for the win. So this is a really tricky situation for me. Sorry, I think I missed something. I believe I'm using Professor Slater to search my deck for some energy. Didn't look like there was anything in there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do in this situation. I don't think I use a supporter. I may be able to use a Blacksmith to power up that Reshiram. I already attached a Fire Energy to it, so I would have to draw a Blacksmith to power it up this turn, and use Blue Flare on the Deoxys, does 120, and then discard 2 Fire Energy on Reshiram. Would knock out Deoxys, but it would kind of leave me open to a knockout on Kyurem, and it wouldn't. All it would have is that Druddigon, which can't really knock out Kyurem. It's 10 damage short because it has that Frozen City damage on the Kyurem. If it was just 10 more damage, not the Frozen City damage, Rainbow Energy damage. There's only There's only 10 damage on the Kyurem, so Revenge would only put it at 120, which is not enough for a knockout. It has 130 HP. So I'm in a tight spot. I'm gonna have to hope that he misses a lot of stuff. Maybe I can hit him with an N, get rid of his big hand, put him down to just a few cards, and then maybe come in with one last Charizard to finish the game. But I have no Charizard on my bench right now, just that one with 170 damage, which can at any point be hit with a Frost Spear to be knocked out. Frost Spear is 30 and 30 to one of the bench Pokemon. But yeah, looking bad for me. I'm not sure what I can do at this point. I'll try to find some way. That Blue Flare can knock out that Kyurem, because of its 10 damage from the Rainbow Energy. So I would need, if I get a Blacksmith, like if this Charizard's going down. So really, I just need him to miss the Prism of Rainbow Energy. I can knock out the Kyurem and then maybe try to stall for a couple of turns somehow. It would be difficult, but I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, I should mention this is a best-of-3 series, so even if this game is lost, there are still 2 more games to be seen in this video, so stay tuned for that. Well, 2 or possibly 1 more game. But yeah. Right now, I don't really have any way to knock out Deoxys. All I can do to knock it out is with Charizard. But that would, I mean, even if I put this Charizard on the bench, it would simply be hit by Frost Spear. So I might as well keep this active so I can keep the damage from so I can hit. So most of the damage will be absorbed by the Charizard, and only 30 will be done to a different Pokemon, as opposed to where um, the active Pokemon would take a lot of damage, and then Charizard would take just enough for it to be knocked out. So yeah, it did just take the wing attack on Deoxys, knock it out. Let's see what Joe has. All he needs is a Lysander to knock me out. Oh, he also has a Dowsing Machine. That works too. Just discard any 2 cards to get back any trainer, and in this case, it is Lysander. Good game, Joe. That is our first match. Our first game, I should say. And on to game 2. Maybe a little downtime between shuffling. I probably should have edited that out. I apologize. I might do that. But there's some time to talk in the middle. Now, one thing, we don't really see this Kyurem deck that much these days. It's mostly the Lugia-based Plasma list we see these days, sometimes with Snorlax, often with Absol. But Joe's list is just going for a very consistent Kyurem, which is that off the map recently. For no reason in particular. I don't know why. It's just the Frost Blizzard Burn takes a lot of energy to power up. I guess the big point of the deck is with Helix Force. Honestly, Helix Force is a very powerful attack, and Frost Spear is able to soften up any Pokemon Joe wants, and then Helix Force will surely be able to knock it out, because most of the big threats in the format can be knocked out by Helix Force. There's Charizard, there's Yveltal EX, both take a lot of energy to attack. Let's see, what else? Keldeo EX with a lot of energy. You might play Druddigon to take out those black Kyurem EXs, I'm not sure. There's a mulligan there, so I'll be drawing an extra card. What else? Genesect EX takes a lot of damage from that as well. Probably up to 120 damage or more with Muscle Band. Trying to remember what other decks in the format there are right now. That's about it. But that's still a lot of decks you can take advantage of Helix Force with. Kyurem is mostly there for the softening up and for a very nice non-EX attacker. So we're going to get started with game 2. Hopefully I'll have a better start than Jirachi. Not by much, though. Simply a Voltorb. Not the best Pokemon to start with, either. It only has 50 HP, so if I don't draw a basic, I could very easily lose this game. But start off strong with the Fiery Torch. Not bad. Get some energy in the discard for a Blacksmith at any point. And, oh, look at that. That is a painful Sycamore. What was that? Bicycle, Escape Rope, I think I saw. Fire Energy, Double Carlos Energy. Just lots and lots of really painful stuff to discard. And it's really not a good thing. I really had to do it, though, because this Voltorb is so likely to be knocked out that I really don't really have the choice to risk it. I'm just going to Ultra Ball here, discard the Fire. And the Electrode, since I only won one Voltorb and one Electrode, so if this Voltorb gets knocked out, that Electrode will be useless, and I anticipate it getting knocked out. I don't see how it really can't be at this point. So I'm going to get Charizard, of course, my big main attacker. That's really my only attacker. I do have Druddigon and Reshiram, but they're mostly just for certain situations. Reshiram is very good against Safeguard Pokemon, being able to hit them first before one of your Pokemon is knocked out. Druddigon, of course, is great against Dragon types, and is a good Pokemon in general. Just solid 90 damage for a Double Carlos. Not bad at all. I do get a Double Carlos energy on the Charizard right now. Very good start. Besides, of course, the awful discard. Looks like Joe's got an alright start. He Ultra Ball for a Deoxys and then use a Chorus Machine onto Kyurem. Definitely not a bad start either. Even the funny thing about Voltorb, actually, is it has an ability, Destiny Burst. So if Voltorb is knocked out by this Kyurem here, I'll get to flip a coin, and if heads, the Kyurem will take 50 damage. And that actually could very much matter, because with a Muscle Band and a Fire Energy, I can simply use a Wing Attack and knock out the Kyurem, and then I wouldn't have to draw a Blacksmith to be able to knock it out. So that's actually that would be helpful if I could flip heads on that Destiny Burst. But it is also a coin flip, which could be very, could of course backfire and flip tails, which is not good. As per usual, coin flips are not a good thing to rely on. So it looks like, looking at Joe's hand, it actually looks like he did not draw a Rainbow or a Prism Energy. He has to end the turn passing, simply just Colorless Machining to Kyurem and Deoxys. That is not the way he wants to start off this game without putting on pressure like this. At the very least, it makes me need one more card to get a Combustion Blast this turn, since I now need a switching card or a energy to retreat the Voltorb. But at this point, I would just need if he did knock out the Voltorb, I would need a blacksmith, just a blacksmith, or in the case that never mind, forget that. Or yeah, in the case that if I flip heads on Destiny Burst, um, I would need a I would just need a fire energy and a muscle band. So here I'm gonna go for the stellar guidance for an N. That's very interesting. I could have just gone for the blacksmith there onto Charizard, gotten 2 fire energy onto it. But the thing with that is, like, I don't have any other attackers in play, so I would just be blacksmithing 2 energy onto the Charizard, not setting up any extra, and I wouldn't be able to attach anywhere else. I guess um, I could have attached a Voltorb and retreated. Then I'd be pretty open to a Deoxys. I wouldn't have, it'd be unreliable for me to be able to knock it out next turn because I don't have a Keldeo out. There's also a chance he just didn't have any energy, which could very well be possible as well. I can't see my hand, which brings me to the point of the camera being tilted. I apologize for this. This seems to consistently happen with this camera and this tripod. I think this tripod is the tripod's very old, and I've been meaning to replace it, but I haven't. And this is actually the reason a lot of the game I haven't been posting games in the on this channel for a while because the camera keeps tilting and you can't see anything. Most of the videos are much worse than this one, I can assure you. So yeah, I just really wanted to get a video out here and not have to worry about silly things like that. Hopefully, you can still see the game mostly. I see that thing with the glare, that's Reshiram right there. That wasn't obvious. Just to let you guys know. So hopefully Joe will not have to miss another Prism or Rainbow Energy this turn. We get another missed turn of opportunity. Very bad for him, I must say. Let's say Joe's dowsing machining for a Chloris machine. Now he probably has a Juniper in his hand. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to use nothing with this dowsing machine, since he might as well play the dowsing machine since he's gonna play a Juniper. And looks like he whiffed that Chloris machine. Does that mean that he has no plasma energy left in the deck and there are 2 prized? Or maybe he discarded one earlier. He might have actually done that now that I think about it. But still, that is painful to have some plasma energy prized like that. That's one of the big problems with Chloris machine is having your plasma energy prized. They are such a precious resource in this plasma deck, more so in like the Lugia versions. But even in this Kyurem version where speed is very necessary, it's not a good thing to have them prized like this. So it looks like Joe did draw a Rainbow Energy finally, and he's gonna be able to use Frost Spear, knock out my Voltorb. I don't know what he's gonna put the 30 on. Maybe the Jirachi just to simply hit that with another couple Frost Spears later on. He may also be hitting the Charizard with the double Carlos energy because that is the most likely thing to be powered up. All I need is a blacksmith to power it up and knock out that Kyurem. And because I'm using blacksmith, Frozen City does not activate since that only works when energy is attached from the hand as opposed to the discard. Yes, that's what he's going to do. So now he can knock me out with a Helix Force. And on the Destiny Burst, looks like I flipped that Tails. Oh no. Yeah, now I'm definitely going to need that blacksmith. Looks like I think I just played one. Yeah, sorry, the discard's a little off center. I should be playing these on the field. Yep, I'm just going to be using a Combustion Blast this turn. Pretty simple turn. I would have liked to get some more energy in play. I didn't even attach. I just used the blacksmith. And all he needs is a Prism or Rainbow to knock out my Charizard. Is that it? Yeah, it's all he needs. Ugh, that is not nice. Not a good thing at all. Ugh. All I have is that Charizard with one energy. I can theoretically knock out his Deoxys this turn with a Blacksmith, Muscle Band, and a Fire. But considering I didn't attach any energy this turn, I don't think I have the resources in my hand to knock out this Deoxys. It's just that I only got 1 prize from the Kyurem. I don't think I have that many cards in my hand. I already played Jirachi, so I can't Stellar Guidance for the Blacksmith. I could theoretically have it, but I highly doubt I actually have that in my hand, which is a shame. It would be really nice to get this knockout, but if not, I'm going to be pretty far behind. He's going to have 3 prizes left, and I'm going to have 5. I think he call wrist, so yeah, not much in the way of anything in my setup right now. Something in my hand I'm going to play. I'm not quite sure what that is. Looks like I'm gonna hold it. Uh, I guess I could use Wing Attack this turn. Charizard's attack 60 for 3. Hit the Deoxys for 60, and then next turn I can get a definite Combustion Blast, and then later I can finish off with finish off with another Charizard, and just clean out there with knocking out things in succession. I do have a Charizard on the bench, which is nice, but unless I draw a double Carlos energy, this plan is null and void. Again, I could theoretically, even if I draw a Fire energy, I could attach that, and then next turn I could play double Carlos and a Muscle Band, and that would be enough to knock out the Axes. I wouldn't even need. Yeah, I wouldn't need the Muscle Band. I would need the Muscle Band. I did play it, and I'm gonna end Joe down to 3. Not a desired amount of cards. 3 is not that much you can play off of. You could very easily get a Juniper or a Colress or something to fill your hand back up, but 3 by itself is not very inviting. He could very well draw into a dead hand. Let's see what I got in from this hand. I'm not attaching right away, so I don't think I got a double Carlos. Gonna play that Draudigon right there, not particularly helpful. Yeah, I'm just gonna attach a Fire to the Charizard. I may rush in to save this Charizard from damage, and then the Keldeo can take the hit since that's not really going to be attacking at all. No, I'm just going to use Wing Attack. No, I'm just going to pass. I don't even have the energy to Wing Attack. I'm just going to pass with this active. I didn't even rush in. I'm not even sure why I did that. Let's see, how much is Deoxys doing with Helix Force? 110, so I'll be at 150. That is very vulnerable to a simple Lysander on the bench and hitting Charizard for a knockout. Be at 150. That's a very scary number. Even Thundurus can knock it out. Rain Knuckle and power up that Kyurem. It looks like he didn't play a supporter or an energy though, so I may be in the clear actually. I've caught a lucky break. So yeah, is it a Blacksmith I'm playing? No, this is a really weird play. What did I just do? I attached a Fire to that Charizard and then bicycled. You'd think I'd be holding out for DCE, but I'm totally banking on drawing the Blacksmith right here. I don't know why I did that. I should have totally just held that Fire in my hand. Maybe I've played I think I've played like what, 2 DCE, maybe 3. Still, I would rather hold it off. Looks like there I just played a computer search to be able to get the Blacksmith. I'm sure that will be going for that because this Deoxys is really the only threat right now, and killing that would be so easy to do and obviously the best thing to do. That's what I'm going to get with the computer search. After that, Joe, since he had total garbage last turn, he may still have total garbage this turn. No energy, no supporter. I'm trying to see what his hand. I think a Lysander's one of them. Yeah, not looking good from Joe. He could very easily draw like a Prism Energy or Rainbow, knock out this Charizard with Thundurus, and then get 2 cards from his prizes, hopefully being a supporter. So it looks like there, I know what happened. It's kind of hard to tell what happened there, but actually, when I computer searched, I took back the move and played a Fiery Torch in my hand first, since I could have drawn the Blacksmith off of the computer search, and then I wouldn't need to play the computer search at all. But it looks like I didn't anyway. So I'm just going to play the Blacksmith right here and get the Combustion Blast for 2 nice and easy prizes. Yeah, that's an always thing you want to do. You always want to play cards that draw you cards before something that searches your deck, unless it's like a supporter or something. So like you search first, if you're searching your deck, you may draw the thing you want off the thing you're drawing the cards with anyway, so you wouldn't want to search for it again. So with you always want to do the random option first before doing the one with a definite outcome. So yeah, Joe has nothing as per usual. He is contemplating playing his nothing or his nothing. Who knows how horrible his hand is. Who knows what could possibly be in there. So I don't know what he's waiting on. He may be holding on to that Lysander from earlier. So he's just going to pass. He's probably saving the Lysander for a big turn with Frost Spear maybe. But I don't know if he's going to ever be able to play that Lysander, because if he draws something, it will likely be a supporter, and then you wouldn't be able to play the Lysander. And he didn't have any Plasma Energy in his deck to Colress Machine, so he's going to have to attach twice. So I don't know. I just don't see it being that likely. So here it looks like, well, no. I was going to Blacksmith first. No, I'm just going to Sycamore. My plan there was originally to retreat that Charizard into the other one and Blacksmith those energy onto the Charizard again. But this time I think I took that back and I was just playing the Sycamore and hold out for a DCE or Float Stone for the Keldeo. Yes, I'm just going to rush in, retreat, and Combustion Blast. And looks like Joe got an N finally. He may be too. Nope, he's going to play that N. Hopefully he can draw something off this N, maybe a Tool Scrapper to stop, or a Surprise Megaphone, or Startling Megaphone, I'm sorry, to stop me from using Rush In to retreat into Charizard again to use Combustion Blast. Then I wouldn't even be able to use it, and he would be able to live. So let's see what he gets off this N. It may be too little, too late. He doesn't have Plasma Energy. I like that Tool Scrapper would be nice, but I have so many cards left in my deck. I believe I have both my Float Stones and several double colorless energy. I saw some in the Sycamore earlier. Yep, looks like Joe drew nothing, and it's going to go to game 3. Not the most exciting game there. Joe just kind of drew dead. But it does show the power of Charizard. If you leave it unattended, it will literally wreck you. And it's incredibly hard to stop without just, actually knocking out Charizards. Like, even like safeguard Pokemon are difficult to really stop because you have Reshiram in case of that. It's just a very difficult thing to deal with if you miss a beat, Charizard's just gonna plow through you. That's really how it goes a lot of the time, honestly. So yeah, now we're gonna go on to game 3. So there's only never mind. It's interesting to see what will happen here. I feel like the Kyurem deck almost definitely has the advantage here, being able to, have the water weakness, doing so much damage early on with the Frost Spear, like on Charizard. That's just so painful. How do you deal with that? You don't really, because Kyurem only gives up 1 prize. They're able to stream those Kyurems. Like you can't keep using Charizards if you power them up, but you're just losing that prize trade wholeheartedly. And it looks like Joe chose to go second with his deck. That's a very interesting move, considering that's just interesting. I mean, Charizard can attack on the first turn, and so can Plasma, but it's just very unlikely for Charizard to be attacking on the first turn. So you want it to go first. You want it to go second. It is very scary to be hit by a turn 1 Combustion Blast, but I would rather have the extra turn to attach energy as opposed to taking that big risk that I just might be able to get that Charizard turn 1. It's just very unlikely in my opinion. I haven't seen it happen. I have seen it happen, don't get me wrong, that has happened, but it is very unlikely and usually does not come across. So it looks like I did start with Reshiram yet again. I am not starting with Charizard. I play 4 Charizard. Somehow I can't start with it. I started with everything else awful. And it looks like they're going to play a Sycamore, discarding my Jirachi, not something I want to do. Jirachi is always something great to have in the deck, being able to get any supporter by just simply playing an Ultra Ball. It's really great thing. I'm going to play a Fiery Torch there, get a Voltorb. So yeah, the great thing about Jirachi is oftentimes you Ultra Ball 2 fires away, and then just get Jirachi for Stellar Guidance, for Blacksmith, and then get a powerful Combustion Blast off early. It looks like Joe's starting out strong with 2 Rainbows in the discard, because with energy in the discard, Joe can use Raid Knuckle and get them onto his bench Pokemon. Looks like he drew no basic Pokemon, and I had the way to knock out his Thundurus. Oh well, looks like a exciting game 3 here at this mini tournament. This is from one of our mini tournaments we have at League. Just play a couple rounds, get a few packs at the end. But yeah, that was not the best way to end this series. But the first game was very interesting. It's definitely, even though these games weren't that exciting, it shows off that Charizard is very strong once it gets set up, and is very hard to take down. Just constant 170, 170, 170. It's not something most decks can deal with, even with such an incredible matchup like Deoxys and Kyurem, 2 cards that are and Frozen City. 3 cards that are very annoying for Charizard to deal with. If they don't start attacking early on and get put on the pressure, Charizard can just steamroll through them. But that's going to be it for today's Pokemon TCG battle. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll be having some more of these in the future. I am planning to buy a new tripod so the camera won't keep tilting and going left to right, but hopefully I'll buy that, get around to buying that soon. I really have been meaning to. I just keep forgetting. I apologize. Games will be much better quality from here on out, I assure you. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.